us is Yael Tamar she's the CMO and partner of SolidBlock, and she will present to us why tokenization makes sense. She's quite active in the field, and we hope that she will be able also to accept questions at the end. So please feel free to start the presentation. Thank you, Yael. Thank you.
Thank you, Antonia, for inviting me. Thanks, everybody. I am speaking to you from an Italian train from Florence to Milano. I hope I don't get kicked out for doing the webinar. So the reason why I'm talking to you guys today is because our company, SolidBlock, has done one of the first tokenizations in the world. It was in Aspen, Colorado. And, I'm going to talk to you guys about our passion, why we're doing tokenization. So let's start with a simple problem. How do you sell real estate in the world in which people don't buy real estate anymore, right? So we're seeing this trend of falling home ownership in the U.S. From millennials. Less than 3 people own a home, which is lower than the previous generation. And even those who bought a home are regretting purchasing a home because they either underestimated the hidden costs behind the maintenance and renting it out, or they simply cannot afford it. And the same thing happening in the UK. You see the home ownership falling, and the UK millennials don't make enough money to purchase a home. So that's from the perspective of the sellers, right? The developers. It's hard for them to sell property nowadays. So our solution with SolidBlock, we decided, number one, to enable fractional investment, meaning you'll be able to purchase a portion in a home, right, for the purpose of creating wealth, right? This does not relate to the home ownership for the purpose of living in a home, rather for investing and growing your wealth. Number two, current generation is not interested in lengthy processes as mortgage, and as well as property transfer. Title transfer is a very lengthy and lawyer-intensive process. So tokenization enables, essentially transforms this process into transfer of a financial product rather than a real estate product. When you transfer a financial product, or you sell a financial product that belongs to you, any stocks, derivatives, bonds, and things like that, if you're selling it to someone else, there's a completely different process involved and much simpler. And finally, creation of the secondary market. Now, why is the secondary market interesting in real estate? Well, number one, when you're investing in a property, it usually takes many years until you can sell it and see a profit, right? So especially if you're investing in a big project, you're expecting for your money to be tied in for 3, 4, 5 years. Now, if you are investing in a liquid product that you can sell, then you'll be able to, number one, liquidate your investment and get profits sooner. Number two, you'll be able to enter at different stages of the property's life. Why is this significant? Well, because many people have different appetite for investments. Some people like risky investments, so they would do this. They would invest in the initial stages, and some people would invest in yielding assets which are already in the market, and some people may want to get in the opportunity somewhere in between. So what is real estate tokenization? So the most important thing to understand about tokenization, it's really that it's a traditional process of issuing a security, and once you issue a security through writing a legal document and notifying financial authorities that you're about to sell a financial product backed by some sort of an asset. In our case, it's a real estate asset. So once you do that, then the next step is to basically place that asset on the blockchain. So how do you place an asset on the blockchain? Well, you create a smart contract on the basis of that legal document, the BPM. Do you guys hear me okay, by the way?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little bit of noise behind me. All right. So, by the way, this is a quiet car. So let's by creating a smart contract that takes all the terms and conditions of that security, and when it receives the money from the investors, they're automatically entitled to whatever those terms and conditions delineate, including maybe interest on the property or profits, right, from the sale. It could be also some really interesting perks, like, when you raise, we're raising funding right now for another hotel, and the hotel owners, is basically a big chain, and they're saying that you'll be able to get a VIP card to the property, and you'll be able to also enjoy the property for a week, a year, for example. So you can give people all kinds of interesting motivation to invest. So this is actually similar to the era of the ICOs, when you saw a lot of different perks to investors who came in early. So you can be really creative with security tokens as well. So what really does it mean? I want to go through this process of tokenization. I want to go through this process of tokenization so that you guys understand how that really works, right? So tokenization is really when you take the rights to an asset, it's a very digital token, which you can then trade, right? So what do these digital securities provide? Well, efficient fundraising process. Right now, real estate owners do not have, an efficient process. They usually go knock on doors to get investment. So this creates kind of a vehicle. Built-in compliance because you're issuing a security. So a security guarantees to an extent that the investors in this property will receive what's coming to them, dividends or interest. You have incentives, as I mentioned. They have automatic dividend distribution, right? And finally, you can trade them. So when you compare this to a traditional real estate investment, then you have many more safeguards for investors. And I think the Zoom has interrupted for me, so you probably guys are not seeing the presentation, but it's going to come back soon. So how do we do the process? So let's explain the process. Let's say we have a hotel in Cyprus. Let's say that we have a Hilton approved hotel in Cyprus that's ready to be built, right? Or maybe it's in the final stages of completion. So now we actually, some of the owners and the investors in the property want to recoup their benefits, right? They want to leave at this stage because by now they've earned most of the money that they've lent. So the next steps would be to establish where you want to fundraise for that property, right? So let's say, who wants to invest in real estate in Cyprus? So I would say maybe you want to go to Hong Kong, or maybe you want to go to Europe, right? You want to fundraise. Let's say you want to fundraise in Europe. So what we'll do is we'll establish in which jurisdiction we're going to apply for regulation. So let's say that we establish that there's going to be Luxembourg or Switzerland, Switzerland. So we're going to establish an SPV, a special purpose vehicle in Switzerland, that will hold either 100% of the assets in Cyprus, or it will hold maybe 50% of the assets, depending on how much of the assets you want to tokenize and raise funds for. Okay, so the next step is to go to write the PPM, which is basically a prospectus by a private placement memorandum that will allow you to go to a regulator and notify them that you're fundraising for this property. So once that's done, you're creating an ERC20 token, or whatever token that you are. If you're using blockchain, if you're using Ethereum, then you're creating an ERC20 token, which will get all of these parameters. And finally, you are distributing this token to investors. Investors will start putting in funds, and they will be getting this token. So basically, that's the overall process of tokenization. It could take about 3 to 4 months to do. So now you're ready to sell your hotel, you're doing marketing, and you're contacting investors, and it will go onboarded on the system, and the tokens will, and they will hit tokens through a custodian. So they do not need to open a wallet or understand anything about crypto, anything like that. They will just be able to, whenever they sell it, they'll do it through a platform. It understand, is going to be on blockchain. Okay? So bottom line is that the process of tokenization creates more flexibility for investors, more transparency, more protections, and the ability to trade, most importantly, the ability to trade tokens. All right? So regarding the possibilities to trade, right now the regulations of trading is still forthcoming in many countries, and it's being created as we go. So far in Europe, there are several exchanges that have been approved by Estonia's jurisdiction, and technically all of the tokens that we are going to issue in this quarter are going to be traded on these exchanges, on some of these exchanges in Europe that we have a relationship with. Okay, from that's about it from my end. I just want to maybe mention the project that we did last year with the St. Regis Hotel, which is a Marriott chain in Aspen, Colorado, where we issued 18 million tokens worth $18 million, which was the first project we did. We're now involved with the Radisson Hotel in Thailand, with the St. Regis property in Italy, and a few funds, real estate funds that we're tokenizing. And I'd love to answer any of your questions, guys. Either right now or via email. I'd be happy to keep in touch with anybody who's interested in learning more and maybe looking at the properties that we are working with. If you're an investor or a real estate investor, and we're also finishing our seed round right now for SolidBlock for ourselves. That's about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Thank you so much, Yael. Do you have any questions, anyone? Because I know that Yael right now she's in the train, so she will not be able to join our later on discussion.
Yes, I have a few.
Okay, try to maybe the most important one because she's in the train. So.
Got it. Okay, so let's say that I've tokenized 20% of a hotel, right? So the hotel is worth $10 million. I've tokenized $2 million. It's all in $1 tokens, and I trade them in the market. And the market is like 2017, and it crashes. And the tokens go from $1 to 50 cents. How much is my hotel worth?
That's a great question. So first of all, I don't expect the tokens to fluctuate that much. We're talking about the security token, which is always connected to the value of underlying real estate. So I expect to have maybe 10 to 20% fluctuation at any given time, because obviously people have different market expectations, different expectations for maybe nearby property or this specific property, maybe agreements with, if it's a retail, agreements with certain shops, and so on. However, I don't expect to have that much fluctuation in general. That's number one. Number two, in terms of the property valuation, if you're selling the underlying property, most likely it's going to go by using an official valuation, using official surveyors and appraisers, right? So in that case, if the buyer of the property will probably rely on the value somewhere between, will probably take into consideration the value of the tokens as well, right? Because they'll probably look into that and say, well, it doesn't make sense. If the property is worth X and the tokens are worth Y, I will look into the difference. And some of the difference could be due to some unforeseen, issues, maybe some issues with the market or expectations and whatever. So, but I don't expect it to really have that much, like a big spread is described. Does that answer your question, more or less?
Well, I still don't know how much it's worth.
Sorry?
I still don't know how much the hotel is worth after this fall in price. Be it 50% or 20%.
So, like I said, this is a new and emerging industry. and there are certain valuation standards that are usually set by international surveyor organizations. Okay, so in Cyprus, you probably have sort of an association of appraisers, right? And they have certain rules by which they go by when they evaluate the property. Now, I think that within a few years, when tokenization is going to become a normal process, they're also going to include in their normal valuation, they will include price on open market, right? So I think, and in the end of the day, the property is worth as much as somebody else is willing to pay for it, right? There's really no other value to valuation than somebody is ready to pay for it. So if you're selling the underlying property, you can sell it for the same amount that the tokens are showing you, right? The supply and demand on the open market, or you can also rely on the surveyor's expertise, right?
So
More or less.
does anyone else has any question? Yes.
I wanted to ask if it's
Louder, please.
if legally it's possible to tokenize a fraction, 20% of the property. I mean, if you want to tokenize,
here.
then you have to tokenize the whole property. It's one title deed.
She said that you can do partial tokenization.
We can do.
Yes, legally it's definitely possible. So what you would do is you would create the SPV and only transfer 20% of the property, of the property's ownership of the title. So there's definitely a legal process for that. And we've done this with St. Regis, because we tokenized 20% there. And we're looking into a property where we would tokenize the whole floor. We would tokenize a floor, 3 floors, and very specific floors in the property. So definitely possible. There might be different legal implications in different countries.
Okay, one last question, two last questions. Let's start with Alexis first.
Hi, question. Assume the company operating the hotel goes into financial trouble and the bank puts a memo on the asset of the company. How does that affect the holders of the tokens?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question very well. Well, maybe you can come to the computer and talk into the microphone.
Assume the company operating the hotel goes into financial trouble and the bank puts a memo on the property that's on the balance sheet of the company. How does that reflect on the token holders? How are they affected?
Okay. In terms of the token, in terms of the token holders, it doesn't. Is the bank put the what for the property?
A lien. A memo.
A lien? Yes. All right. So if the bank puts a lien, then it affects the whole property, obviously, and it's going to be public information. And because we're asking for the property managers to update the token holders every 3 months what's happening with the company, as well as once a year we're asking for them to do an official evaluation. So if there is a lien on the property or some sort of a negative news on the property, obviously the tokens are going to go down in price because people are going to want to sell the tokens at probably a much lower price, right? So it definitely negatively affects the token price, and whether it affects the token holders is going to be only if the property goes into default or bankruptcy. So what happens when the property goes into default? We have certain governance initiated on behalf of the investors in the property, where we will have to say whether the property is sold out and so on, right? So what happens to the token holders? Like, are they going to get any money out of the property? Well, it really depends. So with equity, they're going to be basically holding common stock, most likely. Although for some investors, we do enable a possibility to give them different stock preference levels. So if you're holding common stock and the property is insolvent, and the bank is basically putting a lien and is selling the property, then mostly the money lost. However, if the project for whatever reason is insolvent and GP, the general partnership, is going to sell the property and recover some costs, then the token holders are going to receive their money back pro rata, right? So depending on how much they invested in the token. Right?
One last question. Maybe Yael, we also, with your permission, we're gonna give your contact details to the people interested to get in touch with you if you like. Maybe you have a card like you can present right now online, like for the people to take a photo and contact you. Yes?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you very well.
Can you please present online a card where people can keep in touch with you, like send you an email or something?
Okay, fantastic. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much. We're waiting for the card online right now from you.
One quick question, just very fast. An example of a marketplace in Europe.
Yeah, you're there?
Yeah, I'm here,
So
but I...
one last question, a very, very brief answer as we have to continue to the next presentation. Could you please give one example of a marketplace in Europe that this has been used?
That she's using.
That you're using, actually.
You want to type up the question or they can send me on WhatsApp?
I'll email it.
Like, I can't understand what you're asking. If I can give you a presentation, I can definitely do that.
Okay, I'll give you contact details so they can contact you directly, I think, in order to proceed with the next presentation. Thank you so much for your time. I understand that these were harsh circumstances, but thank you so much for bearing with us. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Okay,
Have a great day. Thank you. Let's give a warm applause.